This right here is the Ice Rider Palkia World's 2022 deck. Every year, Pokemon releases these commemorative decks to celebrate some of the top players at the international level at the World Championships for Pokemon. And this deck right here is the deck that the Junior Champion Division winner, Rikuto Ohashi, used to win and dominate the world with. Here's a look at the front of the box. You have a little preview of everything that's to come. At the very back of the box, it tells you a little bit about the player themselves, so you guys can pause and read it if you would like. Deck list right here, so you can see everything that comes included. Now, typically, if you want to buy all these cards that come with the deck, it's going to amount to at least like $50, $60, $70, $80 plus. But these are basically play cards or proxy cards. So in a regular standard tournament, you're not going to be able to use the cards that come out of this box. But if you want to test out the powerful decks, maybe use World's decks against some other World's decks, you can totally do that. Besides the deck and all the other extra goodies, it also comes with a little booklet right here, which shows you a bunch of stuff that happened at the World's event in London. Bracket for the juniors division where Rikuto ended up winning, seniors division, and the masters division as well. It also has like a little scrapbook of a bunch of fun memories, bunch of photos of players and the top dogs of Pokemon as well. Photos of the junior division winner right here. So Rikuto Ohashi from Japan. And if you guys don't know, the 2023 World Championship is actually going to be in Yokohama, Japan this year. It'll be taking place in August and I'll be going as a spectator. But if you guys want to see what Japan is like, I'm currently uploading my series of Japan vlogs on the channel. So check out my Japan vlogs if you want to see what Japan is like for Pokemon card hunting. Here is a look at the playmat. And then on the other side, it also doubles as a London poster. Pin right here. Usually starter decks don't come with pins. You also get this cool jumbo coin as well. The thing with this deck is there's going to be 0 holo cards. So all these cards are going to have a silver border, and this is common with all of the World's decks, even from previous years. You're going to get non-holo versions of every single card in the deck, and some of the cards are going to look funny because you're so used to seeing them with black borders and whatnot, and of course the holo foil pattern. And on the back of the card, it actually has a different pattern. It has a blue pattern here for Palkia. And you also get a code card, which apparently just gives you like the commemorative coin and a little deck box online. Now, the Masters Division, Andre Scubal, his deck came with a green deck box right here, and all the cards were also like this design, but with a green background. So you're also going to get that same deck box, but in blue for Ice Rider Palkia. Each of the players actually got to name the deck themselves, and well, Rikuto didn't give it a name. He just named it Ice Rider Palkia, which are the main Pokemon of this deck. Basically, if you don't know, because some of you guys are probably more collectors than players who watch this deck, Ice Rider Palkia was amazing. It was one of the best decks in the game for quite some time because of its ability to accelerate energies onto the board and hit for very strong, consistent numbers. And you just really get to run through your deck and do a lot of damage. So being able to set up consistently is super important, and this deck does that very, very well. And before we get to the actual deck, just a quick look at the deck box right here. It is really nice. It is textured. It has a very premium feel to it. And just look, that looks so cool. That looks so cool. Unfortunately, if you do sleeve up your cards, which you're going to want to do, you can't use this deck box any longer. But it is still a really cool box. Origin Form Palkia V-Star. This card is amazing because it only has 2 water energy cost for its attack subspace swell, 60 damage plus 20 for each benched Pokemon on both your side and your opponent's side of the field. And then you got Star Portal, which will allow you to attach up to 3 water energies from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you want. So you can combo this card with cards like Radiant Greninja, where you discard a water card from your hand to draw 2 cards, and then you can just fill up your discard pile with more water energies. You can also combine it with like Quick Ball. Maybe you want to Quick Ball away a water energy, grab another basic Pokemon, put it onto your bench, and then boom, you got another water energy in your discard. And maybe on your first turn, you use Irida, which will give you an item card and a water Pokemon of your choice. Well, you're probably going to want to get Conspicuous Bucket or Capacious Bucket, which lets you get 2 water energies from your deck and add them to your hand. So this deck is just a really, really consistent deck. 3 copies of the big chunks, the big bouse. 3 copies of Origin Form Palkia V, which isn't as good as the V-Star. You just want to get the V-Star on the board as soon as possible. We got the Inteleon line right here. So some Inteleon shady dealings engine going on. This was one of the most popular engines of the D-Block era. Basically, you evolve into Inteleon and you get to add 2 item cards to your hand from your deck, or 2 trainer cards into your hand, which could be literally anything. So you can get the exact cards you want. 3 copies of Drizzile with the exact same effect as Inteleon, but it's for 1 trainer instead of 2. 4 copies of Sobble. Sobble is great because you got Keep Calling. You just use 1 energy cost, and it lets you put 3 basic Rapid Strike Pokemon onto your bench. So you just fill up your bench with more Sobbles. Then you have a bunch of Sobbles on the field, and then if your Sobble gets knocked out, or if you have to retreat, well, you're gonna have an extra water energy in your discard pile, which you can use probably like Melanie to attach a water energy from your discard and draw 3, or you can use, of course, the Palkia V-Star ability as well. On to the other boss of the deck, we got Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX at a 1-1 lineup. So we got 1V, 1V Max, and then we got the Radiant Greninja. Also, quick combo alert. The attack here, Max Lance, does 120 damage for each water energy you discard from this Pokemon. So if you were to discard 2 water energies from this Pokemon, which you're likely going to do, it's going to do 250 damage because it's 10 plus a 120 for each water energy. Slap on a Choice Belt, you're hitting 280, which is perfect numbers for pretty much knocking out any Pokemon V-Star. So you can use Max Lance, and then boom, now you got water energies in your discard. Just use Palkia's ability to recycle those water energies back onto it again, which is amazing. Now the reason they only have 1 copy of Radiant Greninja, even though it's such a powerful card, is because there's an actual rule where you can only have 1 Radiant Pokemon in your deck at all times. So Radiant Greninja is the best, probably the best Radiant Pokemon of all time. It's used in even decks that aren't using water energies. It's just so good to run through your deck. Manaphy right here for some bench protection. Irida is known as one of the best supporters in the game. You get to search your deck for a water Pokemon and add it to your hand, and also any item cards. So you can get things like Quick Ball or Ultra Ball or Capacious Bucket, anything you want. It's really, really good. So 3 copies of this. Also VIP Pass is also another key card. 2 copies of Boss's Orders, so you can attack exactly what you want to attack. Melanie for some extra energy acceleration, and you draw 3 cards as well. Next up, we got the champion Leon right here. This card will help you fix numbers because cards like Ice Rider and Palkia, their attacks are somewhat reliant on how much bench Pokemon are on the field. So maybe there isn't enough bench Pokemon on the field. Well, you can maybe use Inteleon to search out your Leon from your deck, and now you can do an extra 30 damage. We got Marnie at 1 copy as well, really disruptive card. We got Professor's Research, discard your hand, draw 7. We got Roxanne, which says if your opponent has 3 or less prize cards remaining, you and your opponent shuffle your hand into your deck, and then you draw 6, they draw 2. The fact that Ice Rider VMAX, if it gets knocked out, they take 3 prizes, well, you can instantly Roxanne them right away, and you can easily search this card out too with Shady Dealings if you need to. Path to the Peak as well, so once you're done using your Concealed Cards abilities or your V-Star ability, you can use Path to the Peak to try and slow down your opponent's abilities. Trading Court, which combos really well with Radiant Greninja, so you use Radiant Greninja, discard an energy, draw 2, use Trading Card to bring that energy back into your hand, and then you can attach it for turn. Evolution Incense at 3 copies, you really want to get your Palkia V-Star turn 2 because getting that on the board is so crucial to winning. Level Ball is amazing because you can either search out Sobbles or Drizziles from your deck to get exactly what you need, and so you can use Level Ball to get a Drizzile, and now that Drizzile can get you another training card that you actually want to win the game with. We got Quick Ball at 3 copies, another standard card in a lot of decks. 2 copies of Capacious Bucket, one of the best trainer cards in the game. Just search for 2 water energies, then add them to your hand. Scoop Up Net allows you to reuse Greninja's ability, so you can use Greninja once, Scoop Up Net, put it back onto your bench, and use the Greninja once again. And you can also combo Scoop Up Net with Drizzile or the Inteleon card, so you can use Shady Dealings again and again and again. VIP Pass, we got 1 card. Now usually decks are not going to run 1 card of VIP because it's just not worth it. The chances of you seeing this card turn 1 are quite slim, but if you play cards like Irida, which this deck just happens to run 3 of, you're going to be able to search for VIP Pass to then grab like a Greninja onto your bench, or a Palkia or a Sobble, whatever you're missing. So just 1 copy because Irida does help search it out. We got Escape Rope right here. You and your opponent switch your cards in their active position. Pal Pad, that lets you put another supporter back into your deck that you've already had in your discard pile. So maybe you are missing a Boss's Orders or Irida or something important. You can cycle that card back into your deck and then use Drizzile's Shady Dealings ability to now grab that supporter. So Pal Pad, very clutch card at times for sure. We got Rare Candy, so you can evolve your Sobble right into the Inteleon to get 2 cards instead of 1 if you don't have the Drizzile ready to go. Ultra Ball here as well, just for some extra consistency. Choice Belt, another fantastic card to help fix numbers in this deck. And then we got the bunch of water energies. Also, one thing you're going to notice that I didn't show you guys is all the cards do have the, what's his name again? Rikuto Ohashi. They all have his signature on the card. 8 energies in total. It's a little low in terms of energy count, but with cards like Capacious Bucket, when you're able to search it out, it's not that big of a deal having this little energy cards at your disposal. Now, although Ice Rider Palkia isn't the best deck in the format anymore, it is still really strong, and I'm looking forward to see how this deck will adjust post-rotation in April. If you guys want to see the other Worlds decks that are released, I'll leave them on screen right now. You guys can click right here, or feel free to check out one of my Japan vlogs. I'll catch you guys in those videos. Peace out.